Hi, guys, and welcome to the Mixtape Podcast, a podcast where we talk about movies from a screenwriter's perspective. I will be your host. My name is Dean, and I am joined, as always, by Marcelo Inostroza. So this week, we are doing a little independent Australian movie because if you haven't gathered by my accent, I'm Australian, and we have never done an Aussie movie on this podcast. And I really look, we've got some really bad fucking Australian movies out there. But this one is actually good. This one is passable, so this is why I chose it. It is Rogue, and it is from 2007, and it was written and directed by Greg McLean. Rogue is, think of, it's the Australian version of Lake Placid. So think of it like that. So this is the premise of Rogue 2007. An American journalist on assignment in the Australian outback encounters a man eating crocodile while trapped on a rapidly flooding mud island. So, the opening scene is we're in the Northern Territory, Australia, which is at the top of Australia in the middle. And we see a very majestic water buffalo drinking very, very subtly from the river, from a creek, when a croc comes out of nowhere, grabs it, and drags it under. And what's really disturbing to me is I think that that was real. I don't think that that was movie magic because that happens a lot in Australia. A croc will just come out and just grab you or grab whatever it can and drag it under and do that. So I think that that was real. I look, don't quote me on it, but I think that was real. What did you think about the opening scene?
I love the opening scene to this movie, not because of the animal getting eaten by the croc, but I really love the establishing shots of Australia, the scenery, the animals, the dirty river. The second unit or first units, the shots that they got were breathtaking. And every time that we saw an establishing shot in this first sequence, my breath was just taken away. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is because I'm a bloody fucking American who's never been anywhere, but I'm sure to Dean, uh, um, scenes like that are part of the course because she lives in a beautifully wonderful country in Australia as far as looks are concerned. With the opening scene of the animal getting eaten by the croc, I absolutely loved it. And I do agree with you that there is this sense of realism. And I really love how fast it happens because the animal is walking towards the river, and then in just a few seconds, the croc comes up, drags the animal down, and that's it. And I love the fact that the director chose after the attack, he showed a quick shot of the river, and you just see ripples of what just happened. But I absolutely love that he lingered on that shot for a second, and the only thing you saw was ripples. So I thought the opening sequence of this movie was very effective for the reasons that I mentioned.
Yeah, look, this movie was filmed in Australia in the Northern Territory in a place called Catherine. And the shots, like if anybody wants to see Australia how it's meant to be seen, this is the movie. Just it shows our local animals, it shows the beautiful, rock formations and the beautiful rivers and creeks and landscape. Like it is just like this is what Australia is. I mean, yes, we've got beautiful beaches, but this is the outback. I know people think outback is like, what is like dry and stuff, which it is, some of it is, but this is the other end of it. This is the other end of the scope. And yeah, it's just, we've got some really, really beautiful landscape here. So, scene one, we meet a man. His name's Pete. He steps out of a car and he's in a suit, and we're in the outback. We're in the sandy parts of the outback. And he steps into, it's kind of like a cafe shack on its last legs. And he walks up, he orders a coffee from how should I put this? Clearly, outback Australians, which I don't want to go any further than that, but they're clearly outback Australians. And he goes to this wall, and this entire wall is covered with photos and newspaper clippings of massive crocodiles that have been killed, caught, just it's just a wall. And so this was beautiful because the director is showing us this is what's going to happen. It's like a forewarning for the movie. It doesn't have anything else but just newspaper clippings of crocodiles killed people and 3 people killed and taken off a boat and standing next to crocodiles that they've killed. It's just crocodile, crocodile, crocodile. So if you didn't know what this movie is about, you should now just by looking at the wall. He says that crocodiles can grow up to 3 meters, which I think the females grow 3 meters, the males grow 6 meters, which are massive. So it kind of gives you a glimpse of how big they should be. But this crocodile is like much bigger because it's like this is a movie, so it's got to be bigger. He gets his coffee. Well, he gets on the phone after he's ordered his coffee, and he's talking to his boss, and he says, "Look, I lost my luggage, I lost my laptop, I lost everything. I only have my phone and the reception. I can't write the article." He he says the reception here is shit. I don't even know how he got reception, to be perfectly fucking frank with you. And the owner of the cafe hears this and in true Australian fashion goes, "You're not going to do that, Yankee," and puts a fucking fly in his coffee. "Oh, you're going to come here and rip us apart? Yeah, fuck you. Here's your coffee. Yeah, fuck off." So he does that. He doesn't actually drink the coffee because it's shit and it would absolutely taste shit. And he asks the owner where the cruise leaves from because he's doing an article on the cruise down the river of the scenery of Australia. And that was the first scene. That introduced Pete, and that introduced the crocodiles, and that introduced the Australian outback, and that introduced some of the kind of Australian people. So that was really long winded. What did you think?
Breathe. You're going to be okay. I can promise.
I gotta have a drink. I gotta have a drink. Fuck me. All right, go.
I absolutely loved the introduction of Peter in this movie because I love when he goes into the Australian bar, like Dean said, all on the wall there are just articles about crocodile attacks, people surviving crocodile attacks, and I really love that there is a hint to what Peter does in this scene when he gets a call from this guy named Philip, and Philip, asks how he's doing. And he says, "I lost my luggage." He asks the Australian, the waiter of the Australian bar, when's the next cruise coming. So right from the moment go, I got the idea that Peter was some kind of journalist. It just took me a while to figure out what kind of journalist he was. And I really, really, really love the set design of this Australian bar that is pretending to be like a really fucked up version of Starbucks, right? Like the server guy says that, "Hey, we just got this brand new espresso machine that nobody uses," and Peter doesn't want an espresso, but the server guy says, "Oh, why don't you get an espresso so you can break it in?" As the guy who owns the bar is making the espresso, he hears Peter saying that, "Oh, the food here is shit," so that's when the fly goes into the drink. I absolutely loved that moment. And also, I love the guy that is sitting at the bar watching this exchange between Peter and the bar owner, and I love how non-committal he is. And he's like just so hot and disgusting and he couldn't give a fuck. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love that about this opening sequence. And like Dean said, the photos on the wall are a perfect visual cue that the director gives of what's going to happen later on in this movie. If you've never seen it before, like I haven't, you don't know quite how it's going to happen, but those photos and those articles on the wall are a strong indication that some shit is going to go down and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even make him a cappuccino. He lied. Because when he handed it to him, I'm like, "That's not a
So
cappuccino. What are you talking about?"
so what did he make? So what did he make him? Did he
He
put
just
like
made him.
some
No, he just
coffee
made him a
just with
flat
foam in
white.
it?
No. He just made him a flat white. He
Oh,
just made
flat
coffee
white.
and milk. That's it.
Flat
That's all
white.
he made him.
Yeah, flat white.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I doubt he even knows what a fucking cappuccino is. Anyway, moving on. So we're at the creek. We're at the river, and we're at Ryan's wildlife river cruise, and tourists are hopping on the boat, and they're very, very happy. Now, folks. And look, I'm telling this to people, but more so, I'm telling this to Marcelo because I know Marcelo, you're going to bring this up, and I just want to break this in a little bit early because I think it's going to cut out about 20 minutes of you complaining about this specific thing. This movie is story based. It's not character based. So you don't really have a backstory on anybody because it's focused on the crocodile and it's focused on the crocodile on survival. So I know what you're going to say. Oh, but if we just had some
No,
backstory on the skipper, I would have liked it
no.
even more. It's like, no, it's not that movie.
This might surprise you, but I think that the writer of this movie gave me enough with the passengers on the boat
Oh,
to care about them before shit went down. That might surprise you, and it
I'm
probably does.
shocked. Fucking color me shocked. Fucking hell. All right, shall we continue? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with your answer. So there's
Yes, we shall.
all right. So there's tourists hopping on the boat, and there's American, there's British, there's Australian, there's a whole mix. Although they're all Aussie. They just put spoiler alert. They're putting on accents, but they're actually all Australian actors because I know them. And then we meet the skipper, Kate, who is ushering them onto the boat. And I like Kate. She's played by an actress called Rada Mitchell. And if you've ever seen the Silent Hill movie, she's the mother in that movie that's looking for her child in Silent Hill. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I actually quite like that movie. She does a lot of American stuff, but she does Australian stuff as well, and I really like her. So she's ushering people on, she's taking the tickets, and one guy hands her two tickets, and she goes, "Where's the other person?" She goes, "No, it's just me. It's just me." And he kind of just um shuffles onto the boat, and I was like, oh, "Okay, that'll come back later." And I love what she says. I had to write it down verbatim as they're getting on the river cruise. She said, "First rule, you have only one chance to complain about the heat and the flies."
Can I?
Because
Can
they're
I?
all, yeah, go for it, go for it.
Can I just say when she said that, I was like, "This is 100% what Dean would tell me if I'm ever lucky to if I'm ever lucky enough to go visit her in Australia." Because that was such a Dean line. Even though, look, it's probably what a lot of Australians say, the fucking American tourists that show up, but it was such a good line.
It is. It was so funny because look, I in the summer I complain about the flies relentlessly. I am not one of those. Oh no, it's just flies. Don't worry about it. No, I complain excessively about the heat. Fuck, it's so hot. Oh my god, fuck this. And the flies and the bugs. If somebody said to me, "You have one chance to say that you don't like the flies in the heat," I'd be like, "Fuck off." I'm gonna complain because that's what I fucking do. I complain about the flies and the heat. But I thought that was so funny because we get the heat and we get the flies, but tourists don't. They don't get it. And so they come here and they're like, Australia's so beautiful. Our sun is harsh. Our ozone layer is pretty much non existent. It's fucking harsh. Like if you go out the sun for 10 minutes and you don't have sunscreen on, you will get burned. And there are flies that just, they want to take your soul. They really want to take your fucking soul. There's so many of them. So anyway, they get on the boat and they're off. They're off on the river cruise. So, any more to say about that scene?
The only thing that I will say is I really like the introduction of a couple of people that come onto the boat. I really like the introduction of the gentleman, the gentleman in the black cap that comes on the boat but has two tickets,
Mm.
and I really like how that is paid off. Also, I love the introduction of the married couple that are sitting on the boat, and the wife is this very 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 uptight prissy person, and her husband is trying to take videos and do this shit, but her husband who will later be known as a hero to this group is trying to take a video of her, and she's like, "No videos please." She's very very uptight,
Yeah.
and she does something in just a few minutes that made me want to punch her in the fucking face. I was like,
Oh.
you
I don't
ugh.
know if I wrote that down, so
but
please bring it up if I don't.
but also as the film goes on, I really gained a lot of appreciation for her as a character. Although, despite me in the introduction of her character wanting to punch her in the face because I thought that she was just a self-righteous, prissy bitch. at first.
isn't it funny that they make the only American woman the prissy, uptight one that you just fucking hate? It's got to be the American, right?
Yeah, it's got to be the American.
Let's make Americans look
Listen,
like dicks.
yeah, yeah. That's my problem. If you're gonna make an American character look like a dick in your script, do it for a reason. Just don't do it for cannon fodder to 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 make your reader happy or to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna make a character like anything, do it with a purpose.
Yeah.
With that being said, I do think the fact that this character was prissy and uptight and self-righteous does pay off
Yeah.
in a way later on.
Yeah.
It's just annoying at the start because you don't have the full picture yet.
Yeah, yeah. So we're on the river. We get to know some of the passengers. Pete looks at every... It's funny because, again, the American is Pete. Pete looks like... Sorry, he looks at everyone like he's better than them, or he just doesn't want to be there. And I kind of got the feeling he just looks down on them like, oh my God, why am I here? Oh my God, look at these people. Oh my God, they're so gross. Oh my God, like I need to be back in Chicago. I need to be in my office. I need to be aircon. Like tell me if I'm wrong. That's what I felt from him.
To me, it came off as someone who didn't want to be there because of their job circumstances. I really didn't feel that he came off as someone who viewed himself above the rest of the Australian people on the boat. I understand where your viewpoint is coming from, but I personally didn't get that from him. His character for this whole movie, and it's only 99 minutes, so it's really short. It's short and sweet. His character really felt like an individual that I would want to hang out with. He felt really, really helpful and really, really calming in some instances, especially his relationship with Kate.
Yeah. So we're on the river and our boat passes another tour boat, and that tour boat is they're feeding crocs. And we see they've got like the skipper of the boat has got like a piece of meat hanging from like a, I don't know, fucking stick or whatever it is. And we see the croc jump right out of the water, grab the food. And that was real. That was not CG, folks. That was real. Because we do that here. That's something that we do.
What?
Yeah, that's real.
You people feed crocs like that
Yeah.
in small boats?
Yeah.
Fucking Australians, people. You fucking Australians, you're fucking out of your minds.
Yeah, we do that here. We also do that at Steve Irwin's zoo as well. So if you guys want to go there, you can see them do that. You can see a guy literally standing next to a crocodile feeding it. So there is no boat.
Cool.
Because we're crazy.
Why do we need that?
We're crazy, and we'll just do whatever the fuck.
I do feel that you skipped my part, my favorite part.
I'll go for it. Yeah.
So on the boat, there's this heavyset woman wearing a kangaroo shirt, and she is sitting directly in front or behind the prissy couple.
Oh, the smoking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go. Keep going.
Yeah. So to sort of get away from the heat, she says, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do something that relaxes me, and I'm gonna light a cigarette and start smoking." And the prissy bitch that's standing behind her says, "Excuse me, miss, would you mind moving to the back of the boat because your smoke is bothering us?" And at that point, I was like, "You motherfucking bitch! You want? I swear to God, I was taking bets that this character was going to be first to die." Because
that's funny.
I was like, God damn it! But let me alleviate the fears of anyone listening right now. At the start of this movie, I hated most of the people on this boat, but except for one person, I still think he's an asshole. But as this situation went on in this movie, I came to care about these characters, even with the minimal character development that we got on them. I thought their archetypes were strong enough to make me care. So in that regard, I think the writer of this film did a fantastic job. Now you think I'm crazy, right?
I'm gonna disagree with you on the smoking thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, you are in a beautiful, pristine part of the world where the air is fresh and you're gonna smoke a cigarette. First of all, the skipper, the captain Kate, should have told her no smoking because where's she gonna put it out? Don't you dare put it in our beautiful waters. Where are you gonna put it out? Because this woman, again, she was an Australian actress, but she was Irish. So why are you smoking? This you're breathing in fresh air, non-polluted air. Why you really if you had to have a cigarette before, that's totally fine. Have a cigarette after. I have nothing against that. If I was sitting on a boat tour and someone lit up a cigarette and the smoke was going in my face, I would say something. I would say, like, could you move to the back because it's in my face? Secondhand smoke is just shit. She should have just sat in the back anyway. But yeah, I totally disagree with you on that one. And that is coming from a smoker. So there you go.
Yes, a beautiful, 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 beautiful smoker.
Yeah.
May you never change.
Yes. And I would never do that I would never do that in that circumstance, and I would never do that to people. Anyway, moving on. One of the passenger, that woman, because she's moved to the back now. She's sitting next to Kate, the skipper, and they've just seen the crocodile jump out of the water and eat the food. She was like, so they can jump that high? And she said, yeah, they use their tail to propel themselves out of the water. That's fact. That's true. And she goes, so it could jump in the boat. And it's funny because Kate the skipper smiles. She doesn't say no. She just smiles. And she's like, you'll be right. Just don't go in the water. And it's like, and that's kind of a prelude. All of this is a prelude because the fact that she said the tail propels them so they can jump high, that'll happen. So this crocodile that when we see it, it doesn't do anything that hasn't already been explained, which is why I love this movie. And she also says that crocodiles learn its prey's habits. If you do something the same, it picks it up. That will come back later. It studies them. And it can swim, and that's true. That's absolutely true. And it can swim 20 miles per hour under the water without making a ripple on the surface. That is also true because crocodiles are prehistoric. They haven't evolved. They are living dinosaurs. So every fact that she said actually comes back later on. And she says, look, if you fill up your water bottle, if you're at a freshwater creek at the same time every day, the crocodile will study you and will know what time you come back and will get you. So that is the truth, and that's why crocodiles are scary, and that is why in the Northern Territory, but also in the northern parts of Australia, in the northern tip of Queensland, there's actually beaches with signs that says "Do not swim crocodiles in the water." So we've got beaches because you can have freshwater crocodiles or saltwater crocodiles that actually have crocodiles in it. So fuck sharks, we have crocodiles at beaches. So you know what? The saying is right. Everything in Australia will kill you. So anyway, that was that scene.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that scene because of everything that Dean just said. All those hats that were dropped in the boat given to us by Kate come back in some way as this film progresses, and I really, really enjoyed that. Also, I really think that the first part of Kate with all the tourists on the boat, it reminded me a lot of the Universal Jaws ride here in
Oh
America.
yeah, that was the best ride. Fuck, I loved that ride. I'm so glad I went on it before they closed it.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's so cool. I mean, listen, I don't know if that was the filmmaker's intention, but I really, really got some of those vibes. And when I was a kid, I remember I loved going to Universal. I went to go visit my dad once a year in Florida, and he would always take me to Universal Park. And the first ride that I would always request to go on is a Jaws ride and the Back to the Future ride.
Yeah, because they're the best. So moving on, two guys in a speedboat speed around the boat, and they approach and they slow down. One of them jumps onto the tour boat, and it is a character played by Sam Worthington. You may know him. Americans will know him from Avatar and from like a slew of other movies, but we know him as the Aussie Sam Worthington because he did a lot of Australian shit before he did Avatar. And he's a dick in this movie. He's an absolute fucking dickhead. And he's taunting Kate. He knows Kate. He's taunting her. It doesn't matter that she's at work and she's like, I'm at work, mate. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, like he's just a dickhead. And his other friend is even more of a dickhead. He just wants to cause trouble for Kate. What's his name? Pete ends up fucking making a nasty remark to him. And he's like, what'd you say, mate? What'd you say? Like, he's just a fucking dickhead. And so she ends up accelerating and he ends up falling in the water, but is picked up by his friend. And then Kate smiles and kind of goes, and then zooms on. So that was the introduction of them. There's a point to the introduction, but that was that scene. What do you think?
Every time that somebody fell into water in this movie, I got agita because I was like, "It's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now." It was it
But of
was
course.
so. Yes, of course, it's me. What do you think was gonna happen?
No, but the thing is, I'm going to
It
tell
was,
you something. In normal movies, like shark movies and stuff, they have a tank. Even in Jaws, I mean, if you go to the back lot, you can see they didn't film it on the ocean. There's a beach
no,
that
of
they
course,
built,
a big tank. Yeah.
right? This was actually filmed, Sam Worthington actually filmed in crocodile infested waters. So that wasn't a tank.
Oh,
That was on location. So we don't fuck around here, folks. We put our actors in peril because you know what? That's your fucking job. No
yeah.
tanks, no warm water, no, are you cold? Step into the jacuzzi in between takes. No, no, freeze your ass off. You're a fucking actor. Anyway, sorry, continue.
PSA, you're under the lesson. Australian productions, they don't fuck around.
Oh
People
no, we're
learn
hard
and
as
take
shit.
note.
Yeah.
No, but listen, look. I really, really, really appreciated Sam Worthington's introduction because that also indicated that there was this potential sort of love tension between him and Kate that I thought they were gonna pick up in some way, and in some ways they did, but for a large part of this movie, I wanted him to fucking die because like Dean said, he was a dick from moment one, and his friend was just worse. Cause his friend was like the big enabler to all his behavior. And I'm like, do you really want to do this right now? I mean, what kind of a dick do you have to be to interrupt your friend's job? I mean, this is a fucking living, for God's sakes.
I know. Some people are like that though, unfortunately. The guy with the 2 tickets in the beginning, he pulls out a small urn and scatters the ashes into the river. And then you realize he was supposed to come with someone else, probably his wife. But not that that's said, but you pick it up just by what's happened. And he scatters the ashes. And it's actually really sad to kind of see him do that. So now Kate tells them they're heading back. It's the end of the tour. It'll take about an hour, so just sit back, relax, take in everything, take photos, do whatever you want. One of the passengers sees a flare go up in the distance, and Kate decides to check it out because she says, look, we have to check it out. It's a flare, because she sees another one go up. It's a distress flare. This is interesting because she's on a tour. She's going deeper than she probably should. I think what I would do is I would radio back to base and say, look, I've seen a flare in this location. Can you send someone out instead of taking the tour group down there? But if she didn't do it, there's no movie. So she did it. She takes the tour. She goes, it's only a couple miles down the river. Like it's totally fine. We'll have you back. As they make their way, one of the passengers with a camera spots a native Aboriginal cave drawing of a massive crocodile on the rock. And I loved that because it's like you're going in, it's like saying you're going into this croc's territory. They reach the end of the riverbank and they can't see anyone. They can't see the flare. And I don't think we ever know who lit the flare. Do we ever find out who the flare belongs to?
No. All we see is the boat turned over once Kate takes the boat
Oh,
into
that's
the
right.
sort of
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
unforbidden waters. But I do agree with you that once Kate saw the flare, she should have radioed back to base, and she should have taken her guests back to the dock
Mm.
because her going into uncharted waters was very, very ill advised. But like Dean said, if she basically took them back to base, like the screenplay writer could have had the crocodiles come after them while they were returning back to base.
Mm.
So they could have written that in a different way, but I understand why they had Kate make the ill-advised decision of going deeper to investigate this boat and to investigate the flare going off.
So they reach the end of the river and she sees a sunken boat, like you've just said. And she's like, oh, okay. So they can't see anyone. So she's like, all right, we'll go back because there's no one here. And then something massive rams the tour boat and it causes a rupture in the side. And the boat starts flooding. Now, she guns it onto a little island that's just offshore. And so the boat starts flooding. Everyone piles off onto this little island that's got like a tree on it. It's like a riverbank. Yeah, Kate drives onto it and they all pile out. And they're not on the shore. They're on the little island. It's maybe like 10, 20 meters to the actual shore. And there's a reason that they've done that. But what did you think? Because this is really where the movie starts. Everything else is just the opening, establishing characters and all that. And this is when the fun starts. This is when the fun starts.
This is what we call in screenplay writing. This is the turn, people.
Yes, exactly right.
I love the moment when we see the shadow of the crocodile under the water and he bumps the boat, because that is very, very reminiscent of Jaws. When Jaws would constantly bump the orca. I thought that was a great moment. Also, I really, really like the moment where Kate makes the decision to go to a little island that they're very, very nearby. But also, when Kate was driving to that little island or that patch of island, I was like, that doesn't look very stable. That might sink. And if it sinks, you all are fucked. So is this a very good idea? I'm not sure about this, Kate.
Well, it's not going to sink. But as we've established in the movie, the tide will rise and it will become underwater.
I would just like to get your opinion on one of the guests on the boat. On the boat, there is this mother, daughter, and father. There's this family, and the mother is apparently dealing with some disease, and their idea was to get on a boat, go to Australia, get on a boat to see fucking crocodiles. But what you learn about this character later on makes it look ill-advised, right? I mean, look, we can talk about that because it really hasn't come up yet. But what do you think about that character in specific? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the short hair. It's a British couple with the daughter. Yeah, and she's got the short hair. So she's dealing. I think she's in remission from cancer. So as a family, because it establishes like it keeps coming back. So as a family, they thought that they would see the sight. So look, if you don't know that you're going to live for that long, why wouldn't you travel with your family? Why wouldn't you spend beautiful time with them? The only thing she could listen, you go on a tour, you're on a tour. She didn't know she was going to be stranded and have to fucking climb trees and be fucking Spider-Man. But
the thing about her, which comes into play later on, she can't fucking swim. If I can't fucking swim, my ass is not going in the water.
Well, yeah, but she didn't think she'd be swimming. She thought she was going to go on a cruise, on a tour. The swimming part was because of all the shit they got into. And plus, everybody's got life jackets. So it doesn't matter if she can't swim.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I win.
Off you pop.
Yay.
Yeah,
I'm writing down right now. One argument. Yes.
But seriously, you always win, so it's not really fair, is it?
No, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Sometimes I let you win.
Oh, how I rebel in those moments. So wonderful, folks.
All right, let's continue. So now everybody's freaking out. They're on this little island. The boat is fucked. The radio is fucked. They can't radio. They're too far out. What the fuck are they going to do? And rightly so. I would be freaking out also. The tide is going to come in a few hours. And when the tide comes in, there's no more island and they're in the water with whatever the fuck hit their boat. They don't know what hit their boat yet. One of the passengers is absolutely freaking out and goes to, I'm just going to go in the water. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Literally does the worst thing. Goes, I'm going to go for a swim. Yeah, cool.
Oh
Cool. And this is not, let me just make this very, very clear. The director has not made this an Australian person, because an Australian person would never fucking do that. They've made it the British person, because the British person doesn't fucking know. I'd be like, mate, I don't know. Even if there wasn't crocodiles, there's other shit in there. So anyway, he goes to the shore. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna what the fuck? Okay, cool. He's so scared that he's gonna go in the water. Another guy, which is the American woman's husband, who is also American, grabs him, pulls him out of the water.
Is that the guy with the hat that had the
Yes.
urn?
No.
Yeah, Oh no,
No.
it's one of the other ones.
This is the husband of the woman you don't like.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The guy with the glasses and the hat.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right, so he pulls him out of the water, and he's standing there, and I'm like, you're too close. And then the shot, I love this, the shot goes off of him, and it goes on someone else, and his face is just like, what? And then it goes back, and that guy's gone. Totally silent. The croc took him. We didn't see it, but it's like, he's gone. And I love that, because nobody, if you weren't looking, you would never have known that the croc came and grabbed that guy. There was not even a ripple in the water. That's how fucking creepy. And I think crocodiles are way more fucked than sharks, because crocodiles can come on land, sharks can't. So even if you're on land, it can come up, it can kill you. So, you're out of the water, also, shark, you're okay, you're on a boat, you're okay, but not with a crocodile. Anyway, that's it.
Also, the other terrifying thing about crocodiles is that they do death rolls in the water. Sharks don't do that. Sharks will just fucking eat you.
Yeah, crocodiles like to play with their food.
Yeah, it's just awful. But just real quickly about that scene, like Dean, I really, really liked it when the husband of the character that I don't like lost his shit and decided to go to the edge of the water. Even when he was going to the edge of the water, I was expecting for the director to say, "Oh, he's gonna die," and I was expecting for the shark to come up and grab him. But the fact that as everybody's fighting on this piece of land, but the fact that the director focuses on his face for a moment, goes to somebody else, and then goes back to where the guy was standing, but you don't see him. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? And I rewound the movie. And I'm like,
you missed something.
The croc took him.
And I was like, did I blink? What happened?
Yeah, and I was like, but after I rewound the movie, I was like, well done, director, well fucking done. And like Dean said, there was not a single ripple in the water at all. It was flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we see the two guys in the speedboat come along, and they're being just absolute fucking tool. And Kate and everybody's stranded on the shore. She's trying to get their attention. They don't notice that they're stranded. They don't notice that the tour boat is half flooded. They're just dickheads. They see what they want to see. Just then, one of the guys goes, "What's going on with their boat? Why is it half in the water?" Just when he says that, their speedboat literally gets lifted up into the air. The boys get flung out into the water, and they swim to shore. One of them gets taken. You don't see it because it's so silent. And Sam Worthington makes it to the island. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I really think that this movie does a great job at anticipating, at making you anxious, thinking that you're going to see the shark, but not showing it to you. It's sort of the Steven Spielberg way of making a monster flick. Build up your anticipation to see the big baddie, but don't show it to you, because by not showing you the monster and showing you what he does, that's 10 times more effective than showing it to you in its full glory, so to speak. So I really, really, really like that scene. And I think it's really, really cool when the crocodile picked up the entire boat and the boat went flying in the air. Yeah. I thought Sam Worthington's character was going to die then and there, but the fact that he didn't, it was very shocking to me.
So Sam Worthington is on the island with everyone. He's like, look, the tide's coming up and we're going to be all underwater if we don't do something. So he devises a plan, because they've tried to get as much gear out of the tour boat that's not half underwater as they can. So they find rope, and he devises a plan to swim across to the shore bank, and he wants to tie a rope from the tree that's on the island to the tree that's on the shore. So instead of people swimming across, they can just shimmy across Tomb Raider style on the rope. So he, in a very tense scene, he gets in the water very silently and just swims across. And you think at any moment the crocodile's just going to come and get him. Because the issue is, you think you're being quiet, but the movement underwater is causing vibrations that any sea
It's
creature
like
can pick
sonar.
up. Yeah, they can pick it up. Any movement in the water, they can pick it up. So you think you're being quiet, but you're not. But anyway, it's very, very tense. He makes it to the other side. He climbs up. He ties the rope to the tree. And the woman, let's just say your favorite character, the American woman, she gets on first. And this is why I hate her. You hate her because of the smoking. I hate her because of this. She starts shimmying across and she stops in the middle. She won't move. She's so debilitated by fear. She will not fucking move. And everybody's screaming at her, move, move, keep going, keep going. No, she's too scared. And I'm just like, oh, you fucking, why did you even, oh, fuck's sake. Like I understand you're scared, but you got to do what you got to do. And then I don't even know why the British, no, the dad's died because he was, oh no, he didn't. He's still there.
No, not
They,
yet. Not yet. He's gonna
No, yeah,
he's
right,
he's
yeah,
gonna die very
that's right.
shortly.
I remember. So they put their daughter, the woman that has the cancer thing. They put their daughter on the rope, and I'm like, wait, why are you putting her
So
on the
stupid.
rope when that one hasn't
It's
even?
gonna break.
And then the father, who is a complete tosspot, he gets on. He's like, okay, let's go, let's go. And I'm like, what do you do? This is the one that tried to swim. Let me just fucking tell you. And I'm like, what is happening? And Sam Worthington's like, no, the rope's not going to hold three people. He's like, come on, let's go. He's so scared. And he's such a weak version of a man that before any of the other people he got on, he just wants to make it. Anyway, he gets on. They shimmy across and she won't move. And they're like, you have to move. There's two people behind you. She won't fucking move. They're all in the middle of the rope, hovering above the water. And they're all stopped. Nobody's moving. And Stan Worthington turns around because he hears a noise behind him. He's on the other side of the bank. He hears a noise behind him. And the crocodile is literally at his feet. And he's like, oh, fuck. And takes him. Again, that's kind of the first time you see it without a sound. Fucking takes him. Nobody, and they're screaming. They're like, oh, hey, hey, hey. He's not answering. And they're like, oh, fuck, something. Again, because they can come on land. It's fucking scary. So the rope ends up breaking. Duh. They all fall into the water. And they make it back to the island when the croc launches out of the water, grabs the toss pot, tosses the toss pot into the water. He had the best death, and then like eats him a lot. He eats his ass, basically. Good. You deserve to die, you fuckpot. Anyway, that's that scene. That's a long scene. I know. I'm gonna get a drink now. Tell me your thoughts. Fucking dickhead, hey. Anyway, go.
I swear to God, when Sam Worthington made that rope from tree to tree so they could rappel above the water, that was the most tense scene in the movie. The fact that the woman that I absolutely hate in this movie is the first one on the rope, and she freezes in the middle, and her inability to move, the fact that the fact that that holds up everybody else from getting on the rope, and and crossing to the other side, it was the most frustrating but tense filled scene of the whole movie. I physically thought that they were all going to fall, and half of the people, half of the characters in this movie were going to die in this moment. Because I was like, how are they fucking going to get? How are they fucking going to get out of this? But to move to Dean's point, the fucking toss pot, or the fucking dick of a dad that wasn't brave enough to put either his ailing wife on the line or his scared daughter, who is I think like 7 fucking years old. The fact that he justified it to everybody else by saying, I'm not going to let your incompetence cost me the life of my wife and my child, that's a bunch of bullshit. And the way that he grabs onto the rope and the way that he starts, it's so fucking annoying. So that's why I love it when when they get onto the shore and the director just shows his face, and then all of a sudden you see the croc bite his leg off and swing him into the, swing him into the water, and I really really like it when Dean, as she was describing the scene, she goes, "Good, I'm glad that tosspot is dead because," she said that, "Oh, I'm glad that he's dead. Kill him a lot," and that reminded me of
Buffy?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty
You
funny.
ripped my jacket. Kill him a lot.
Kill him a lot. Yes.
Kill him a lot.
That's from the movie, folks, not the TV show. That's from the movie.
Oh my god. Oh my
So
god.
now
No.
that that's
Oh my god.
happened, they don't know what to do. The tide is rising. They're not at shore. The tide is going to come up in a few hours and they're going to be in the water. So they devise another plan to trap the croc long enough for them to swim to the shore. But they need bait. And there's a dog. Kate has her dog with her. And this Australian guy, and this actor just annoys the shit out of me because he's in so much Australian stuff. He looks at the dog for bait. And I'm just like, and I know Marcelo's like, yeah, use the dog with bait. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Tie the dog up, drown it, use it for bait. I know you were thinking that. Yeah, use the dog. But they didn't.
I will tell you what I was thinking, and this shows you how much I've changed
Mm-hmm.
in like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, if you fucking use dog as bait, I will fucking kill you. Do not
Oh my
use dog as
God. That's not like you at all.
bait.
Wow.
No,
I am pleasantly surprised to be wrong about that.
No, but actually, the fact that this guy, which he reminded me of Taika Waititi a lot, said use the fucking dog as bait, that terrified me because I'm like, you guys are in a fucking swamp. There's like nothing else that you guys can find as fucking bait. It has to be the fucking dog.
Yeah. So they find some bait to use. That's not the dog. So they set the bait out. So the whole thing is they want the crocodile to be distracted by the bait so they can swim to the other side. Because swimming to the other side, it's only 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. So it's not that far. But they need the croc to be what is it?
Occupied.
Occupied. That's it. So they set the bait and wait. The croc takes the bait. They all swim to the shore, and Kate's the last one over. Other than Pete, he's the hero, so he stays behind, make sure everybody makes it. Kate gets grabbed by the croc and pulled under, and that's that scene.
I was really surprised that the protagonist of this movie got killed, or on paper got killed, because when Kate got pulled under, I was like, no, kill Vaughn. Again, his character's his name is not Vaughn. People, I was like, kill Vaughn, don't kill Kate. I love Kate.
Oh yeah.
But listen. I think in the moment it was really effective, but they kind of undo it later on, which I was kind of happy about. But if I was writing this movie, I wouldn't have killed Kate in the first place. How would you have done it? Because I really liked that she sacrificed herself for everybody else. I really liked that moment from her, from a character's perspective.
I wouldn't have done it differently. I like the way that they did it. I thought it was pretty solid.
Okay.
So Pete tries to save Kate. He jumps into the water like the hero does, but he can't find her because it's at night. It's dark. He can't find her. And this is what gets me. He swims to the shore, but he can't find the others. Fuck knows where they've gone.
But also, but you know what? I'm so glad that you brought that up, because after Pete goes into the water looking for Kate, but he can't find her.
Yeah.
He comes across this giant tree. I'm sorry if I'm getting there before you do.
Yeah.
He comes across this giant tree that has a cave in it, and I'm like, why the fuck would you go into this giant tree with a fucking hole in it that leads to the crocodile's lair? Why would you do that? It's so fucking stupid. But the strangest thing is that after Kate dies, it's like the writers forgot about everybody else and just wanted to focus on the two main leads of this piece, which I found really weird because I thought they were all dead.
Yeah, like how far could they have gotten? I think it was just a way of the director to get them out of the way, so it's like the hero could have his moment with the crocodile. The reason he goes into the cave lair is because the dog's run off and is barking, and he's trying to get the dog, and then he slips down a slope into the
Yeah.
cave. So it makes sense. He doesn't just go down there. And then
Okay.
he sees the dog who is sitting next to Kate's body. And I'm like, like, oh, that's so
So sad.
cute. But who is barely still alive. But what I find funny is the dog runs off. Oh, okay, cool. Where are you
Yeah.
going? The dog runs off, and
And
then you
then
hear this
and then what
squeal.
happens?
Yeah, then you hear this squeal. So dog's fucking gone. And Pete lifts Kate up and moves her body to kind of higher ground because he hears the crocodile coming back. And then the croc enters the lair, and this is kind of the first time you see the how big the crocodile actually is. And he's climbed up onto something and he's trying to be as quiet as possible. So that is that scene.
I really, really like that scene for the tension that it gave. I was a little bit confused about how Pete ended up going into the crocodile's lair, but Dean sort of just explained those away. Thank you, Dean. This is the only part that the visual effects. I know this is a minor thing, but the visual effects of the croc for the time they could have been better, but they were okay. But
Really?
anyway,
I thought that they were
actually,
fantastic. Like, listen,
but
listen.
all
We know shitty effects a la
yes, we
Sharknado.
do.
We know. We fucking know.
Yes, we do.
Okay, this was not shitty
Yeah,
effect.
yeah,
This was actually quite good.
yeah. But the thing that I really, really enjoyed about the sequence is I love the fact that Pete went after the girl even after he thought that she was dead, which which kind of doesn't work because he kind of went after the dog. I'm pretty sure that he wasn't expecting
No, he wasn't. No,
Kate
no.
to.
No way.
Yeah, he wasn't. So I guess he just was lucky in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, he just kind
Yeah,
of came upon the body. So Pete's hiding
yeah.
and he sees the croc settle in a corner and kind of go to sleep. So Pete, very slowly, very fucking tensely, gets down from where he is, slowly grabs Kate's body, and quietly moves towards the exit very painstakingly. He keeps turning to keep an eye on the croc, and then he turns, and the croc's not there, and it's like, oh fuck, because the croc's so silent, they don't make any noise, and now he doesn't know where it is. So now Pete faces off against the croc, and after a tussle here and there, and the croc bites off his fucking fingers, he ends up finding a like a I don't know, stabby
A
thing.
spike.
Like, yeah, like a spike, and stabs it through the mouth out through its head and kills it.
That was a great final sequence because I really thought there's this moment where the crocodile tries to get to Kate, but Kate is like in sort of like a
Mm.
section, and the crocodile tries to fit into the small contained space that Kate is in, and the crocodile's mouth is right here,
Yeah.
and Kate's head is right here.
Uh,
Vaughn picks up a rock and whacks him,
yeah.
and the crocodile goes over to Vaughn, and
Yeah.
what happened happens. But I think it was really cool that this massive crocodile got killed by like a giant wooden spike right through the stomach that went through his eyeball, I believe.
Yeah, because the stomach is the most sensitive part. So stabbing it from the top's not going to work. They have dinosaur skin, but underneath the belly, that's where you got to get it. It's like the shark thing. Stabbing it in the eyes where you get it. Crocodile, you got to go from underneath. So that works.
Right,
So Pete
right.
carries Kate's body outside, and the rescue team has arrived. And oh look, all the others are there, alive. Where the fuck were you? Is what I would be saying. Where the fuck did you go? Fuck me.
Listen. Do you, but do you realize how much easier the final sequence of this movie would have been if like one of them would have came with Pete?
No, but that's what I mean. Wasn't supposed to be. Like, I get why it happened, but you should have had a better explanation rather than, oh no, they've gone. Where? Where would they go?
Right.
To a restaurant down at some fucking Starbucks? Where the fuck are they? Anyway, that's
The Australian Outback. That's where they went.
yeah,
The
that's
restaurant.
where they went. That's where they went. So anyway, Pete puts Kate, she's on a helicopter gurney thingy, and she's alive and stuff, and that's all sweet. And then we go back, the last scene, the final scene of the movie, we go back to the cafe from the start, and the wall of photos and newspaper clippings has a new clipping that says that's now on the wall, front and center, and it says tourist defeats killer crocodile, and there's a picture of Pete. And that's the end. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I really like the final moment of this movie when Pete and Kate had that little sort of discussion, and she says, what did you think of the tour? I thought I thought that it was a
Yeah.
really sort of ironic, funny moment,
Hmm.
but also like Dean just said previously, I I really wish that the like some of the people that Kate tried to save would have died instead of like being all okay.
Yeah.
I feel that a couple more people deserve to die.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. But if that's it, I'll go to my trivia.
Go on to your trivia.
All right. So the first piece of trivia I have is the crocodile photos in the cafe are real. None of that was fake.
Oh wow,
So if you go
cool.
back and watch the movie and kind of look at it because there's close ups, those photos were all real photos. The
Wow.
crocodile has only 5 minutes and 49 seconds of screen time in the whole movie.
Look,
Great.
see what I'm talking about, people? The Jaws effect. See what I'm talking
That's
about?
it. Perfect. So the last piece of trivia I have for you. Okay, in the scene where Sam Worthington falls in the water, and I said he actually fell in croc-infested waters, that's true. But what I didn't tell you was the trivia aspect. So the director was like, "This is the scene we're doing." Sam went, "Nope, not doing it. I am not going in the water," because they were just told that there was a croc scene in that area, and he was like, I'm not doing it." And the director's like, "Well, we got to get the shot." And he's like, "Oh." So he did it a couple of times, but there was nothing that was usable by the director because Sam looked so scared. And Sam just wanted to
Oh
get the fuck
wow.
out of the water. And he was like, and he goes, "Sam, I cannot use any of these shots. I can't use
Takes.
anything. Like what? I don't know what to do." And Sam goes, "I'm not going in the water. There's crocodiles. Like, this is a movie. I get it. I'm an actor. I get it. But I'm not doing it." And so the director goes, "All right." So what the director did is he got in the water and he swam around for an hour by himself,
Oh my
unaided,
god.
just to prove to Sam that it was safe. He
Oh
swam
my
around
god.
for an hour. He got out and he goes, "See, no problem. Can we shoot the scene?" And Sam goes, "Yep." And the scene that's in the movie, that is the scene that we got of Sam acting in the thing. But isn't that the mark of a true director? I'll just fucking get in and prove that it's fine. Anything to get the shot. So yeah,
You know
they
what?
were lucky though.
You know what? You know what? God bless this director because that shows real commitment for your film.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
other than crocs, there's like leeches and eels and shit. Like, there's a lot of other shit there. But that's yeah, that's fucking ballsy, man.
I
That
mean,
is
you
ballsy.
know, you know, and the fact that he swum around for an hour and not just like 30 minutes,
Nope, he just had to
like
prove to him. That's fine.
yeah, it's yeah. I mean that shows commitment, people. That is the best piece of trivia about this movie, I believe.
Yeah, that's Australian directors, folks. I'll get in the fucking water. I'll get in the croc infested water. But anyway, that's the last of my trivia, and I'm going to wrap it up if you have nothing else to add.
Take us home.
All right, guys, if you want to email us, you can email us at themixtapepod@aol.com. Anything that you would like, if you want to request anything, if you have any comments, questions, complaints, you can email us there. Next week, we have a complete pivot from this fun creature feature movie. We have the movie Monster. Charlize Theron, Christina Ricci. Very, very good movie. So I think it's going to be
Yeah.
really good to dissect. As I wrap up the show, I'm going to do the podcast voice and just take us home. If anyone is kind enough to make you a mixtape, that must mean that they really love you. The Mixtape Podcast is a Balloonhead Productions presentation.